Diva, and I'm here to stay. Feeling good, taking my GLP-1 meds. 1 whole year, wiped away my fears. And 60 pounds, but that's no all. I kept on going even through the storm. My A1C went down. I still have work to do. Just when you thought I was done, my high blood pressure went down too. Feeling good, taking my Diva, weigh 1 less. I have a grace for me to tell. I'm on the road to lose 100 pounds. Can I do it in 2025? Yes, I can. Downsizing, Diva, and I'm here to stay. Feeling good, taking my GLP-1 meds.
Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday to ya. Happy Wednesday to ya. You know, this is so funny. I gotta hype myself up because I'm tired. I'm like super tired. I had the longest day ever, but I'm excited about this topic today because I used to love The Biggest Loser. And I mean, geez, Louise, if you saw my thumbnail, then you know. Who can tell me what did I say I did that is related to Biggest Loser? Did anybody check that thumbnail out? Who can tell me in the chat? What did I say? Oh, super cool. Anybody know what did I say that I have in common with The Biggest Loser? Anybody know? Anybody know? I tried out. Yes, 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 yes. This is the funniest thing. I was watching The Biggest Loser, that documentary, and every time I turned on the YouTube, my streaming Netflix, it would say, it's coming soon. And I was like, dang, when is it coming out? Every time I had time, that I thought, oh, I could watch this, it wasn't there yet. And I want to say they said it was coming like on a Friday. So anyway, I caught it, I want to say a couple of days ago. And when I was thinking, I was like, why would these people try out for this? Like, they had no idea what was in store. And then I thought, I tried out for it. And so I called my friend and I said, do you remember trying out for this? We tried out for, The Biggest Loser. And she said, yeah. And I said, well, what happened? I know he didn't get picked, but I just remember a super long line. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I signed up, I went with my friend because I thought, oh my gosh, what if she get picked, and I don't get picked? I really want to go. And I didn't want to do it though. Like I was like, if they would have picked me, I probably would have, been so scared and just like bowed out gracefully. And I think they kind of vet you to know that. But it was like a long line. And I just remember thinking, as I'm getting closer and closer, what if I get picked? What if I get picked? And I was paranoid. And I was like thinking, I should have never did this. I should have never did this. It's always the ones that don't want to get picked that get picked. Well, fortunately, I did not get picked. And as I'm watching this documentary, I'm thinking, geez Louise, it's a good thing I didn't get picked. But I don't think I would have went through with it. I was so afraid. And like I said, I think I had FOMO because my friend, and I was doing it with my friend. And so yeah, I tried out for The Biggest Loser. Did The Biggest Loser ever come? Now, I live in Ohio. Did they ever come to your cities? Did anybody else try out for that Biggest Loser? Was the line super long like it was? It reminds me of like waiting on the how people used to wait at Christmas time for those TVs to come out. Remember when TVs used to be expensive and you would, catch the sale at Christmas time? So that's what it reminded me of. That Biggest Loser line was super long. So I'm going to say hello to the chat and then we're going to talk about it. First of all, before I get into the chat, did anybody else happen to see it? It was 3 parts. And, I have some photos and just some of those stories, I just was in disbelief. Like I couldn't believe like this was the behind the scenes. And I had heard things over the years, about The Biggest Loser and things that they were doing on the show. But something shocked me. I did not know what's going on. So did anybody else watch that? It does relate to a GLP-1. They actually talk about GLP-1s, and I just can't wait I think it's going to be a GLP-1 Biggest Loser. I really do. If you saw it, you know what I'm talking about. But okay, so Grace, you saw it. You were watching too, Mail last night. You haven't seen it, Bellflower, but you plan to. Even though I'm going to talk about it here, I'm not going to do it justice because the people are bringing emotion. I might get emotional and cry just because when you hear the just the things that people went through, it just and you can relate to some of it too, right? I can relate to some of those things they talked about, but it's still not going to be like seeing it for yourself. You have to see it for yourself because it's just the real people talking. And geez, I just think to myself, people went on there to really change their life, and they ended up, some of them came out, emotionally worse than when they went in, and some of them are physically worse than when they went in there. So I'm going to show you one of the people that won, and look how he looks now. And he was kind of bashing, allegedly, I don't know how to say that, but in my opinion, he was bashing GLP-1s, and he's like bigger than he started when he was at The Biggest Loser. So that was interesting. Um, but yeah, and then I love Bob Harper, that trainer, but I just have a different perspective of Bob now that I watch that. And I hate that because I just love me some Bob. He was on that Traders last season, and he did a great job on there. He didn't win, didn't come close to it, but I just, I thought, oh, this guy. And then I watched that Biggest Loser, and I thought, yeah, I just have a little bit of a different opinion, but what are you going to do? So anyway, we're going to go into the chat. Then we're going to dig into this Biggest Loser. All right. So we have Paul in the house. He said Mel was in here, but I did not see her. But I see Mel is in here now. She did text me earlier. She was like, I love the thumbnail. So, hey, Shay, he says, yes, yes, yes. And you know what? I spell my Shay with a Y and not an E, but I don't care. It's Shay. I'll take it. I love it. And there's a Shay in here, my name twin, that does spell it SHAE. She was there when I first logged in. Maybe she's in the bushes. Oh, she would be in the bushes with it's Darium. Darium, I don't think is in the bushes right now. I think he's doing double duty. Hey Cookie, how are you? Hey Margie, how are you? Let's see, Mail to the B rolled up in here. She says, hi everyone. Don't forget to like. Hope everyone is feeling fine today. Devin is coming out of the bushes. How are you, Devin? She said, I posted very early as per usual. I wonder why it disappears if you post really early. That's just so crazy. Good evening, Dee, Divas and Divas. Hey, Grace, how are you? All right. Hello, Michelle. How are you? Hello, Michelle. Harjareen, how are you? Harjareen, I gotta email you. I've been so busy as a bee with school starting back. Jen, how are you, Jen? Jen, I wonder if you saw that documentary. What you thought? Did you watch The Biggest Loser, Jen? Linda's Journey, how are you? She says, hi, DD and fam. Bellflower, my two weight loss twin. She says, good evening, Downsizing, Diva, and chat. Hey, Mayor Mindy, how are you? These GLP-1 streets are busy tonight. I know, that's too funny. Felicia, how are you? It's your birthday. Oh my goodness. Now I put up a post, but of course you're in the chat, so we got to say, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Felicia, did you do anything fun on your birthday? What did you do? Tell us, do tell. I love that. All right, who else do we? Hey, how are you, WV? How are you? I am doing fine. I'm tired up in here though. Jeez, Louise. Mindy, there are not enough computer screens. I know. That's so funny. Yes, Mel, I tried out for that show. Yes. Can you believe that, WV? Somebody like me trying out for that show. Yes, and you know what? When I'm telling you, I did it because I just thought there's no way they're going to pick me. And it wasn't because I was like smaller. It was, it's people smaller than me, a lot bigger than me. I just thought the fact that I really didn't want to do it would come through. So that's why I thought they wouldn't pick me. And I was right, but they didn't pick my friend either, who really wanted to do it. She was heavier than me. I think she was, she might have been 300 plus pounds at that point. And she didn't get picked either. But, geez, Louise. Thank you, Mail to the B, for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let's give her a thank you. So yeah, that's my claim to one of my claim to fames is I tried out for that Biggest Loser. I always thought that unless you were a teacher with the summer off, it would be impossible. Right. And you know what? I think people get special permission to go on there or some they make some arrangements, they take time off. Some people, are able to take paid time off. My job, I don't, because we're off in the summers, there's no way I could have gone on there. It's funny. One day I had Wendy Williams I was going to get some Wendy Williams tickets to go to her show. And I was like, geez, Louise, I cannot do it because it was like snap, right in the middle of school. And sometimes, first of all, you don't even get off. Well, now I have some unrestricted time where you could take your time off for anything. But our personal time is like defined in my contract, right? What you can and can't do. And I wanted to go see Wendy Williams and I couldn't, but it was like I think one of these tickets were like in May. And I was like, if only it was in June, I would be off. So, some things I just missed out on because, if you're gone, you're off for 2 months. It's like you hate to just take time, when it's not that structured time. So anyway, and now I can't go see Miss Wendy. I don't know though. Anything is possible. I wouldn't be surprised if she popped up somewhere doing a show. Were the tryouts crazy? Yes, they were crazy. I'm telling you, what I remember, Nicole, is a long line, just being in a line and just talking to people and hearing. I also think I felt a little guilty because, of course, I wanted to do it because I wanted to lose weight too. I was really going with my friend. But, the funny thing is, I was feeling a little guilty there because some people, they thought this was going to like save their life. Like I was there for it to change my life. I don't know at that point if I was thinking it would save my life. And some of the people who I thought it would save their life, I thought, I got into thinking like they deserve a spot and I don't type of thing. And I said, boy, I better not get up here and get chosen. I would have felt so guilty. I would have probably bowed out, but it did it. It's an experience for the history books. MVP, how are you? She says, hi, Dee and Divalicious community. Brenda, how are you? I love that. Brenda Marlene. She says, hi, Dee. Hi, everyone. My weight loss. Oh, not my weight loss twin. My name twin, Shay with an E. I love that. Shay with an E. And then you have the E at the end there, too. I love that. You said, oh, they came to Miami for casting. Very cool. Very good. Okay. All right. You watched it. Good. I haven't seen it yet, but I plan to. I was watching it with you, lady. Last night, Didi, you meant to say, I think. Okay, Grace, you saw it. I watched, but I don't think it revealed anything new. There was a lot of controversy while and shortly after. Yes. Now I did learn some new things though, because I hadn't been up on what the folks were saying. But I do know some of the contestants came out complaining about things. I don't know if it was like in the Time, it was Time magazine, or it was like some kind of expose. And I think after all the investigating, they said these people weren't being honest because they were saying the trainers were giving them caffeine pills. But I never even knew they had caffeine pills. Did you guys know there was caffeine pills? I mean, like just that alone, I never knew that. My son told me to watch because we used to watch it. Yes, I watched it faithfully. Yep, Jillian does not approve of GLP-1, but she has a killer bod. LOL. No, she does not. She does not. Uh-oh. You missed the sleep mail to the B. Danny, yes, agree, Didi. Yeah, I was just so shocked, but we're going to get into it. Did they want the weight loss or the 250K? See, that's another good question. It was a competition after all. So which one was it? 250, Cookie is saying. Losing it grays. There was a combination of motivation, I'm sure. I watched the day it came out. I used to watch the show and wanted to be on it. I never realized how mean it was because I thought fat people deserve that treatment. Yes, and that's what some of them were actually saying on the show. They were saying that they just figured like this is what they deserved. I will venture to say the motivation seemed like for most people, and maybe they picked the ones that had the touching stories, but the motivation seemed genuine. But I would say the extremes they went through, because I would imagine if 250,000 wasn't on the line, some of that stuff they went through, they probably would have said, no, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. But I think that money was like that carrot for them too, even though they had a bad feeling about it, even though they knew it was not the right thing to do or knew they were being mistreated. I think that is probably what kept them going. Yes, yeah. Nicole, I wasn't happy about that, but I kind of got into it. Yeah, I thought it was good. I think any trainer willing to be on The Biggest Loser would question their intentions for their clients. It was questionable from the start. Wow. Now, I wonder if when Doris comes in here, if she comes, she's a trainer, I wonder if she would do something like that. Mel, that's why I was waiting until the weekend. The YouTube street's been talking about it lately. Yes, that's my feeling, Cookie. I understand the emotional and physical gymnastics, but still, you signed up and stayed for the money. So you're saying they're all about the money. Let's see. Nicole, how are you? Nicole, I would say Nicole is one of our resident biggest losers in the DD community. You know, if you go to my community post, I posted a picture and I have it in my little slideshow here. So we're going to talk about it because you could have been, in fact, on that Biggest Loser. Jeez Louise. Jen, where have you been? Where have you been, Jen? And how are you doing, says Mel. Happy belated birthday, Felicia. You are a sweetheart. Yes, you made sugar-free cookies so everyone can enjoy them on your birthday. Yes, yes, yes. I love that. Look at you being thoughtful. I love that. So let me show you. I'm gonna go through down some of these comments. People are saying happy birthday. Jillian, Dee, don't you stop. Don't you stop. Jillian, Dee, don't you stop. Keep going, Dee. Oh, jeez. Is your friend still? She is. She is still overweight. Yep, she is. And I think she's probably put on a little bit of weight, since then. But yeah, and she is recently taking a GLP-1. She hasn't told anybody, so nobody knows who I'm talking about. But I'm the only person that she has told. So yeah, as of right now, Philly, and I think she's been on it for like 4 to 6 weeks. Felicia sounds like a sweet celebration. Ooh, how does we say that? Feliz Campanelos. Margie, she says, happy blessed birthday, Felicia. Gloria, how are you? Look at that beautiful pic. She says, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the chat, Gloria. I love that name. Felicia is amazing. I had no idea she was a cosmetologist. Yes. Felicia, what could you do with my wig? I love that. Felicia, what about that? Thank you. Losing it, Grays and Margie. I heard about the supplements. They were sliding them back in the day when it was out. So I never knew that was. Had you guys ever heard of caffeine pills? The pills were big in the 70s and 80s and Fen in the 90s. So people are trying to say, like the hint from that Biggest Loser show was, okay, we had all those, trends and different things come out and we thought they were so great until they weren't, right? So you were doing it long term and we realized it really wasn't. So they were trying to make the connection what's going to happen with these GLP-1s. And we know they have been around for a long time, but long term, I would say 20, 30, in my mind is that, and I'm going to research that. Let me just ask, what is considered long-term? What would you guys consider long-term? I would be thinking 20, 30 years, right? To me, it's long-term. I would say more towards 30. So I'm going to say, what is considered long-term? Let's before we get into the semantics, what? Long-term is a relative term, but generally refers to a period of more than 1 year. So then they have different genres who have considered long-term. So long-term investment strategies would be 5, 10, or even more years. Wow. So I thought long-term would be longer than 20 years. So 5 to 10 years is what I'm seeing in relationships and all of that. Okay. All right. So we do know long-term, though. If you're going simply by that, we do know what about these medications long-term. So yeah, I was thinking long-term went way longer than that. Okay, so Mindy, that is so sad. I feel like you deserve to be mistreated. Right, right. And you know what? I'm just gonna quote what some of these people were saying. Yikes, nobody deserved that treatment. I watched a couple of episodes back in the day. You didn't like watching it. Those doggone producers were sleazy. Well, at some point, they just were about the money. So I stopped watching it. Okay, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people did. It's terrific. She has you, Dee Dee. You are an amazing resource. Well, I'm hoping to be, and I haven't really said a whole lot to her. I just, how you're doing, or telling her, just giving her compliments here and there. I just leave it open up to her, to what she wants to share. But thank you for that. Thanks, Grace, for throwing that happy birthday out there. Wait, now whose birthday is it? Did I miss anybody besides? I know it's Felicia's. I remember Jillian got in trouble for giving them caffeine pills. She is all tripping out. But the funny thing, Paul, is that they said that was one of the things that was against the trainers, to give them any kind of supplements, or that was for that doctor to do. The trainers were not supposed to. So I just think that it's kind of contradictory, or like, it's kind of like hypocritical in a way, because when you're criticizing the GLP-1s for being a tool, but yet you're giving these clients of yours and the contestants caffeine pills, a supplement that they were not supposed to take. First of all, it can be dangerous, especially how they were eating so few calories, and they were exercising 6 to 8 hours a day. So they were exercising like it was a job, which I guess they're figuring, we're giving you 250 grams, possibly this is a job. So they're exercising like crazy. And then she gives them that. So it's like, okay, I don't just think that was a smart move. And not to mention, they weren't even supposed to be doing that. That's just the kicker to begin with. All right. So GLP-1s have been around since 2000. Yes, yes, yes. So I would consider, according to this definition, that is long term. So we know what it's going to do long term. If it's on TV in the height of the 2000s, producers were doing shady things for ratings, and still are. Don't you think they still are? So, some of the things that caught me, first of all, people who know about The Biggest Loser, who is the GOAT of Biggest Loser to you? Who would you consider the greatest of all time? Now, we know there's a guy who lost the most weight out of anybody, but there's also a female who, unless I'm, missed something, but she lost the most weight so far out of everybody. Who knows who that is? Who is considered the GOAT? And actually, this person declined to be interviewed for this documentary, because, and I'm going to read her words. I don't want to mince her words, but who do you guys consider the GOAT of The Biggest Loser, the greatest of all time? Do you know any of the names? You can't remember her name, but you remember her though. Okay, all right. So you're saying it's a female. Who do you guys remember? Any names? Okay, I'm gonna. You said 100 still are. Yes, you can't remember her name. The woman with the cute short haircut. Okay. Um. Okay, I'm gonna show you her. I just love this thumbnail. I think this thumbnail is everything. She was a beast and looked healthy. Yeah. So this was the. Let me see. I may have to see if I don't want to put her up. So this is who I consider the GOAT, the greatest of all time on that show. She was the first woman to lose The Biggest Loser. Remember, all those men kept losing, and her name was Allie. Yes, I never forget this moment when she won and she put her arms up. Look at those arms. Like, geez, Louise, she's channeling male to the bee. Look at those arms. And I just thought, wow, yeah, that's Allie with the short haircut. She started off at 234, and her weight when she won was 122. What I just remember thinking, like, this lady has almost lost half her body, like half her body. Look at that. She lost 112 pounds. She ended up being 122 pounds. I mean, geez, Louise, she worked her buns off. So I'm going to tell you, for this documentary, though, she said they sent her a link, and she was looking at the contract, and I think she had people look it over. And it sounds like, according to her, and I'm going to read what she says, but let me just tell you, this is Allie. She was the first female to take home the $250,000 cash, and that was in 2008. She started out, we see, at 234, and that's around what I weigh now. Can you imagine? and she dropped 47%. No, she dropped 47% of her body fat to weigh in at 122 during the show's finale. And geez, Louise, she's saying that people are slamming the show in this documentary. She says every person's journey was unique to them and her views are not the same. So she is not bashing the show. She said, absolutely not. This is a quote. Not even remotely close. I know all of the people that were interviewed except one lady. I think she's talking about the black lady that was on there that had the partner, and the partner was doing so well, but the black lady was that other black lady, she was not doing so hot. And Bob, that's the one that Bob went off on. Like nobody had ever heard him go off that way. And he went off on her. And oh God, something she said really broke my heart. But I do remember feeling at the time, and they could have spent it, they could have spent it, spend it, like spend it. I don't know if that's the word, spend it, but they could have spent it that way, that she seemed like she wasn't pushing herself, right? And that's what made Bob, who was so nice and so sweet, go off, because it seemed like she wasn't really pushing herself. But so I think that's the lady she's referring to. And she says, I don't know what season she was on, because she surely got a lot to say about The Biggest Loser, and she's probably got the most screen time on the documentary. And nothing true. That is so true. I remember thinking that too. Like, this lady has a lot of airtime. And she looks good. This lady looks good. I don't know if you remember her from the show, but now she looks good. And she was positive. She was one of the positive people about the GLP-1. So that's the thing. So on the first, so that's Allie. So I thought Allie did a nice job. Allie, over the years, though, she picked up weight. And she actually talked about some of the circumstances of being on the show. And I'm going to tell you, what was the most surprising thing for you guys, if anybody saw that Biggest Loser? Because the most surprising thing, I don't know if it was this scene with this lady that was, I can't remember her name. Did I write her name down? But remember, they had that beach scene. Now, what if they were doing this challenge when I auditioned? They did not. Like, we just waited in a line. But I think they got fancy over time. And they had this scene where she had to run a mile on the beach. And can you imagine running on the beach, though, with the sand of it all? That's going to slow you down. But now this lady is overweight. This is her first introduction probably into moving that body. And it just broke my heart, because she basically, like, she crashed, like she fell, and they had to revive her. She almost lost her life. What she had, they called, what is that called? She had something called, of course, Mindy and Mayor Mindy and Mighty Mel. I can't pronounce this word. But what she had basically affects, it starts with an R. I can't remember the name of it, but it basically like shuts down your organs after a while. It starts, I want to say, in your abdomen, then it goes to your liver and goes to your kidneys. So they flew her, so she collapsed and stuff. They took her to the doctor, and her body was just not ready for that. Like, she just had not been moving. She probably was in, her lab work, her organs, everything was in bad shape. And once she started moving and, trying to win that race, she just was out. Now, I was thinking, I don't remember this girl necessarily, but I thought she was just going to be off the show. Well, she went back on the show. I mean, she was hospitalized and everything. And I guess at that point they thought, well, she's went through all this. She almost died. Let's give her a spot. So they gave her the spot on the show. This is what cracked me up. So when she finally got off the spot, when she finally got, off the show and she didn't make it, they sent her home in a helicopter. Okay, so why are you sending her home in a helicopter? The funny thing was, and it wasn't funny, I should say ironic. The ironic thing about it is she had never been on a helicopter. She was afraid to get on. She didn't even know she was getting on the helicopter. She said they didn't even ask her. Do you know what a panic attack I would have had? That they showed her on there and she looked scared out of her mind. And then they had her family and friends waiting. But there again, that was like for the show. But how do you not can tell your contestants how they're traveling home? Like, you think you're driving, she said, because everybody, would get in the car and drive off. That's what she thought she was doing. They put her in a helicopter and said, get in, and this is what it is. So I just thought that was, stuff like that. It's like, geez, oh man. Now, somebody could have said, she could have spoke up and said, I'm not doing it. But I just have a feeling like you're in the thick of things, right? And they just probably didn't want to do it. Right. What is that? Right. Molysis. She said it's a hard word for me too. I give you a pass on that one. Yes, I never had even heard of that condition, but I just thought now, but why wouldn't you check people out though? Because I thought that you had to have a medical evaluation. So the fact that they didn't find that, did anybody catch that? Because that surprised me that they wouldn't have caught that. But I just thought that was the first thing that just was like, I'm like, really? This lady, it's, it's just doing it, she's just going all out trying to be on this show. I saw some other people come in. Let's see. We have Z. How are you, Z? Let's see. Okay, I saw Gloria. Slims in the making. Joni, how are you? Hey, Joni. Hey, Slims. Let's see. DJ Meyer, how are you? How are you? So yeah, it was crazy. So let me ask you guys some questions, and then I do have a game. I do have a game, which I think this game is kind of interesting. Okay. So it says so in the chat, we're gonna use a big word here, a couple big words. So do you think The Biggest Loser, if you whatever you remember about it, if you saw the documentary or not, do you see it as inspirational before you know what you know if you saw it, or do you think it was exploitation? I think we knows how Grace feels. Grace is like, Now there is also inspiration or exploitation. Which one do you think? And I'm gonna say it still was inspirational to me. I only am thinking about it as exploitation because I know the behind the scenes. But on this show and watching, I did think it was inspirational. And I thought it reminded me because remember I was at that boot camp where the lady was like telling people, "You're so fat, you're so fat. Why are you eating this donut?" So I think she probably got that from The Biggest Loser. Now that I'm thinking about it, being kind of cruel, but so I think I thought, okay, some people need that. Some people need that push, is what I was thinking. When I hear the backstories to it, I just think that was the wrong way to go, right? Because some people had that push and that mean talk and that way of making you feel belittled at home already. And when they came to The Biggest Loser, and now they're having trainers and they're having therapists, they thought they were going to get that gentle approach to losing weight, and instead of getting that love and that support, they got that rah rah all up in your face. And I don't think some people were really prepared for that. Now, let me tell you, the first couple groups, right? I don't know. Now, as time went on, they should have known that this was what it was going to be, right? Because, you saw what happened, right? Why would you think you would show up and it would be any different? But I would imagine the first 2, maybe 3 seasons in, they maybe thought like, okay, the gentle approach to it is coming. I think that doctor was he sounded like he was the level-headed person, and the people were working around him as he was trying to do the right thing. So yeah, oh, the swan was another one. Remember the swan of it all? Yes, I remember that too. So what are you guys saying? You exploitation or inspiration? The bee's knees. How are you? Melanie, or is it Milani? Milani. Oh my gosh. Hello, hello, hello. So you think it's exploitation. Okay, the bee's knees. She's like, I'm not playing. Mel says exploitation. Okay, we got all these people saying that. The episodes I saw seem to be okay. So you guys are like, this was not. And see, I thought it was inspirational at first. Soon after the show was the Swan. Okay, so who knows? Because The Biggest Loser was doing so well. They were everywhere. They started having Biggest Loser China, Asia, Biggest Loser, Europe, Biggest Loser, Australia, all these places, all these different places. They were international. They were a global sensation. Who can, and then Jillian quit the show because of this. Who knows why? This lady giving out allegedly, even though we know they say she did, but I'm just going to say allegedly, giving out caffeine pills and doing the things she was doing. This had her say, peace out. I'm out of here. What was it? Do you guys know what was it that stopped the show kind of in its tracks? It was something that happened. Do you guys know what it was? The documentary did tell you what it was if you watched it. You never watched The Swan. Oh, I used to love The Swan. That's when it was kind of like making you see how much plastic surgery could, make you look like a totally different person. All right. Do you guys remember? I just remember commercials now that stream or watch YouTube. I barely what is on TV. Okay, okay. Both. I needed to be exploitative. Right. They needed it to be like that for the ratings. Cute profile pic, Brenda. I love that. You just changed that, didn't you? Oh my goodness, cute. Very pretty. But I think the contestants were mostly sincere. I do too. I do too. Because, like I said, with the ones they picked out anyway had great stories, whether they were true or not. So nobody put what it was in the chat. I'm going to tell you, she wanted more control over the contestants. No, that's not quite it, but that's a great guess. And I'm sure she did. I'm sure that I remember that too. But this is what happened. I'm going to take you guys to this lady. This is what did it. Let me take male to the B off. Remember this girl? This was Rachel. Rachel lost weight, and when she came out, now this is making her look bigger than she actually looked on the show, and that was cameras, and cameras put pounds on you. This girl, Rachel, when she stepped out, everybody was saying how she had an eating, what, and people were like, it's like just scrutinizing everything about it, and finally Jillian said, if this represents what the Biggest Loser is going to become, I'm done, and she bowed out. And so she was no longer a trainer. And then after that, the show kind of went downhill. But it was because, look at this, that girl, I guess she said, I'm gonna take this and run with it. So now what was she taking to get that slim? And I think she just thought she looked great, right? She thought no big deal, but people thought she looked slim. And look how she's trying to like kind of hide herself a little bit. You see how she's standing. So yeah, who remembers Rachel? Jeez Louise. Rachel. Oh my gosh. She looks great now though. She's put on weight from if that's the same one I'm seeing in there. I can't remember, but I always thought it was extreme. I never watched The Swan. Okay, I agree. I'll agree with Brenda. I think you got to have both to just keep the show going. She didn't want Dr. What's his name? Huizinga in the way. That's true too. Yes. Beautiful friends, please don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, yes, yes. Hit that like button. Oh, yeah, I forgot. She said that was last night. Yes, 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 yes. It was because of her producer telling her it was okay to give the pill, which she admitted to, but then she got fired. That's why she's trying to decide if she needs to sue or reveal all of her emails. Okay, now that must be something else that came out now that, I don't know. I think now, because this was a thing years and years ago. So why is she trying to sue now? Because of how they portrayed it on the show, saying that she wasn't allowed to? I don't know. Because that makes sense. Because I'm thinking, why would you give these people pills when clearly it said they're not supposed to have it? So I'm likely to believe that, but I don't know. I would love to see proof. Mounting criticism and backlash. Yes, regarding the show's extreme and potentially harmful weight loss methods. And Rachel, when Rachel came out, everybody was like, their mouths dropped. Even the trainers were like, this is not what's up. This is not what is up. What gets me is that Jillian was a major part of the problem that causes. I know. Thank you, Mel B, for the super chat. You are so right. She was. And I thought, remember, she was so popular. Like everybody just loved her hardcore way of being. And now when I hear her, I just think like, I think a lot of trainers feel threatened with this whole GLP-1 because I think they feel like their jobs and what their need is going to be in the weight loss community will be diminished. So I think that's why a lot of them are very critical about the GLP-1s. And I think she's one of them. And she's one of the people that can do it with, working out 6 hours a day or however many days she works out and doing all the things she does. But everybody can't do that. And I just really wish she would get a grip on it. And every time I see her on a soundbite, she's always saying, well, you're going to put the weight back on if you get off of it. Well, who says you got to get off of it? Like, nobody is saying now it's dangerous to be on it long term. So as long as it's not dangerous to be on it long term, why is that even a concern? You know what I'm saying? GLP-1. Yes, it's true. So let me go back up here because I skipped down to the super chat. Let's see. Okay. This is according to her interview yesterday, just yesterday. See, I think she's coming out saying this now because she knows how bad it looks. So until I see proof, I don't know if I'm buying that. Lord, she said, yes, yes, yes. Still a huge part of the problem. Yes. Thank you for the compliment, Dee Dee. Yes, I changed my picture. That was taken this past week. So it's current. I love it. I love it. And I love the updo. Rachel lost 60%. I mean, geez, let's look at her again. Rachel. Geez, Louise. And she was doing all the things probably that they told her to do, but the spin that was on it, the controversy, is like you're teaching people if you're eating 800 calories. But let's just face it, we're going to talk about it. Aren't some people on the GLP-1 doing the same thing, eating 800 calories, less than 1,000 calories? I mean, are we really doing that? Nice photo. Jillian even apologized for giving them those caffeine pills. Yeah, so why is she trying to say now she didn't? Unfortunately, with any weight loss program, you run the risk of body dysmorphia. Yes, I agree. I would say so. Jillian has become unlikable. She has. I'm not a fan of Jillian. She speaks like she knows, but she doesn't. She's not carrying any extra weight, so she only knows from her perspective, for sure. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Let me ask you. So would you guys push your body like that for extreme results? So would you do extreme workouts and diets like they did on the show? So would you eat 800 calories or less? Would you work out for 6 to 8 hours? Who would do that? I'm gonna tell you, I would not. I'm struggling with this 30 to 45 minutes to 15 minutes. But I interviewed, right? That's why I say if they would have chose me, like what I have done, I would have had to bow out gracefully because I really just didn't think I would get picked. Yes. He says, what trainers don't realize they can? Yes, yes, yes. So you guys would not do that. Taisha, hey, simply Taisha, she says, once upon a time, I would have tried. I definitely would now. So you would not now. Okay, very good. And I think, yeah, when we're being honest, remember I was at that boot camp where that lady was telling folks off. And one of the things about me is, this is so true. I always smile all the time. So when you got in line to be waiting, like while you're exercising, she walk around or, and then she would look at your food log in front of everybody. That's when the real analyzing and mean comments would come. And she would tell me, like, you look like you're a closet eater. And I would just smile at her. And she would say, you should be losing more weight than that. And I would just smile at her, and and I would be thinking to myself, like, I'm eating, but it's not in the closet, lady. I am eating. I'm not starving myself to be on this diet. And so, and actually, you had to eat very, very little carbs. Like you had to cut the carbs. And I think the first 30 pounds I did it. And then I guess I was kind of like keto in a way. And it wasn't called keto, but it was close to it. And I just got fatigued with eating that way. And I thought, okay, I need to still control my eating, but I need to like not do this to this degree. So I went to Weight Watchers. So once I went to Weight Watchers, I started losing like 1.2 pounds. Every week I would drop, but it wasn't that 2 pounds or 3 pounds like when I was, eating the way she wanted us to eat. And so, yeah, but so she didn't really get on me as much because I wasn't on there gaining. And if I ate a donut, you think I'm not writing that down for you to see and like embarrass me in front of everybody? People would be writing donuts and Twinkies. And I'm telling you, these girls were huge. Like they were big up in the pounds. I mean, they were big. And she would tell them, like, you too big to be eating a donut, this and the other. It was kind of like that. She was like the Jillian Michaels of it all. And I thought to myself, like, don't write that down. Don't write that down because you just don't want to be embarrassed like that. But people would be writing it down. I think they, in their mind, they were being honest about their journey and they didn't care what she said and how she said it. And so yeah, but I ended up leaving because I saw this girl get really embarrassed and I cried. And I just thought, this is not the place for me. I'm leaving the exercise class feeling way worse than when I came in because I just felt bad for the people. I really did. It's just, geez, Louise. I wonder what happened to that girl that she embarrassed like that. And that girl, she put her head down and you just saw tears coming. And it's like, we all felt bad for her. So I've seen it. I've seen a Jillian Michaels up close and personal. You guys say, no way, not healthy. Hello, I remember your name is Gail. Hey, Gail, how are you? If they revive the show, they wouldn't give them caffeine pills. They just give them GLP-1s, Mago 7, and electrolytes. Yes, HE double L, hockey 6, no. Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think the Biggest Loser and the GLP-1 meds sends the same message that smaller is better? Or do you think one is healthier than the other? So is the GLP-1 sending this message? Because I'm going to let you know, I think some people are not eating enough calories on the GLP-1. And so are we kind of doing the same thing we're criticizing the Biggest Loser for with these GLP-1s? Some of us, not all of us. And I realize it's a catch-22. I don't think people are doing it because they want to be like, oh, I don't want to eat. I just think people can't eat, right? So when they can't eat, then they're not eating a lot of calories. So in a way, some people are on that same calorie plan that they're on. They really are. But what do you guys think? That's just what I think. And I'm reluctant to criticize people on the GLP-1 because I think most people are doing the best they can with what they have and what they can do. Most people. Now, that's not everybody. It's some people on here that's like, I'm going to go to McDonald's and do what I do. I don't care what I'm taking, and I'm just going to eat less of it, and that's it. And, so that's not really a lifestyle change. That may just be like, working with the medication. Some people are just doing it that way, and that's it. And I get that too, that, you're like, I'm not doing all that. But I just think, there are some similarities. Now, we don't have a trainer up in our face telling us to do this and do that, but we definitely have. And then I know some people say they work out and all these long, drawn out workouts they're doing. They're hitting that pavement hard, trying to lose, especially for people who are paying a lot of money. I realize they're trying to do that to burn off the weight quick. I mean, initially it was hard to eat as much as I should, but I knew it was wrong and I started losing muscle. So I adjusted accordingly. Stat. Okay, very good, Mel. No, I tried eating less on Mounjaro and my hair was coming out in clumps. Eating more and hair loss stopped. Okay, very good. Thank you for sharing that. So let's give Mel some confetti because that was so honest. Thank you, Mel. And let's also give Gail some confetti. Another thing to share. People don't really want to share about their hair coming out, type of thing. So I appreciate that. But it's the truth. And I just wonder if this lady, do you think her hair fell out? She lost 60. Can you imagine 60% of your body weight? Like, I just can't even imagine that. I mean, I wonder if her hair fell out. Now, it looks nice and, gorgeous there, but does she have pieces or something added up in there? I don't know. Because I just don't know how you lose that much weight and just everything be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I just don't know. Reset with Anissa. How are you? I saw you earlier, but I saw it and just kind of kept going. I wanted to come back up and just like let you know how happy I am you are here. Okay, so we saw that from Taisha. You guys are saying no way. Dee Dee, oh girl, almost okay. No, ma'am, not even at my heaviest. I couldn't or wouldn't do it. Okay, you would not. I've done it. I did it in my 20s, said Brenda. And again, in my late 30s. I'm going to be 54, so we're still the same age right now. I barely have energy to get through the day during your normal activity. Yeah, that's a lot. Once you get older, I don't know how you're maintaining that. I mean, initially it was hard to eat as much as I should, but I knew it was wrong and I started losing muscle, so I adjusted accordingly. So let me ask you this question because I'm not a coffee drinker and I know I see coffee, profi, caramel lattes, almost known as protein latte and all that stuff. I'm seeing all this stuff with the coffee of it all. And some people have the morning coffee, I realize that. But I feel like people are drinking the coffee because it's an appetite suppressor. Also, it's probably a way to get in protein. But a lot of times doctors will tell you not to drink the coffee. And there's something that coffee does to our body that really can mess up your GLP-1 results too. Because when people are saying, I'm not losing, I'm this, I'm that. One of the things I wonder is if they're drinking coffee more than just your one cup Maxwell House, or if they are just drinking it all day long, putting all the things in it, all the things to make it taste fabulous. So what is that one thing that coffee has that really is not good when you're on a weight loss journey, especially a GLP-1? Coffee does this to you. What is that? Yes, JC, you got it there first. Very good. Coffee is going to dehydrate you. I mean, it really is. And I'm going to be honest, for me, what coffee does for me, if I don't go to the restroom that second day, now that I'm on 12.5, I'm going more frequently. If I don't go that second day, that third day, I am, before I take the Mango 7, sometimes that second day, that's when I might drink a cup of coffee. I have coffee at work that I bought Monday. I think I took it to work Monday. It's still sitting in the fridge. I didn't drink it all. And it was a small. That's how little. But I added my, protein, protein shake to it, and that sweetens it up a little bit, and that makes it, good for me to eat it. And as I drink the coffee down, I add the shake to it. So I guess I'm making a pro-feed, but I only do that very seldom. If you find yourself, you might be drinking all the water in the world, but if you're drinking a lot of coffee, that coffee is a diuretic, and that coffee is going to dehydrate you, not to mention the caffeine of it all. Most people I know aren't getting that decaf coffee. I buy decaf coffee at home. It's a lot of times I'll do the decaf, but yeah, I think we just have to be careful with the coffee, because I see a lot of people, like, you would think we were in we got a GLP-1 Starbucks going on here, but it's going to dehydrate you, right? That it's going to make you keep going to the restroom. And if you're not replenishing as you're going, then that's not really good. And this also, caffeine has been known on a GLP-1 to cause an upset stomach. So I don't know if people realize that too, but that's also what it does. Now, if it's not doing that for you, this message is not for you. But for people who are wondering, if I stalled out, I can't lose, I'm not thirsty, I don't want to drink any water, it might have something to do with the Profi that people are drinking, the protein coffee. And that's just my little spiel on that. It's no judgment. I feel like whatever works for you, but that's just the facts of it all, right? And it's not for everybody. Some people probably could drink coffee all day long and be fine. But for me, it's going to also get my bowels running, and it's going to like dehydrate me where I need a drink. And so, yeah, so I'm kind of careful with the coffee. Okay. A large part of SAWS during weight loss is not getting the calories you need. You have to check your caloric needs at least every 10 pounds lost. Yes, and that was a mistake I made early on. I was losing, and I wasn't reducing my calories down after every 10 pounds. If you start too low, your body has no room to adjust. Yes. So that's a great comment. Let's look at that. If you start so low, where are you going to go? If you start so low, where are you going to go? So that's a good point. If you start so low, where will you go, right? Because if you're eating 1,000 calories, let's say you eat 1,200. That's another thing. They said on that show that 1,200 was like a standard. I think it's more. I think you should be eating closer to 1,500. And that's if you want to have a good resting metabolism. Now, if you want your metabolism jacked up, like the Biggest Loser, the Biggest Losers, one thing they all have in common is they say their metabolism is now jacked up because they were, just eating so few calories, right? And it was the name that they gave it, like a fancy scientific name. And I just thought, well, I could have told you that, people, but you got 250,000, you're on TV. This is a life-changing, process for you. So I do see why people didn't necessarily question it, but geez, Louise, I know in hindsight, they're thinking, why did I do it? Who remembers the old weight loss company Schick? My old registered dietitian used to be one of the dietitian counselors, and she said that they were just some crazy stuff. Now, I don't remember that. Who remembers that? I don't remember that. That wouldn't have been a place for me either. No, I had no idea Jillian was overweight. Yeah, at one point she was, yes. I remember seeing that somewhere. But now, it's just like somebody who is a teacher, and they go out of the classroom and they become an administrator, or you could be an employee somewhere and then you get a position as a leading a group. It's almost like people forget, and that's a real thing, right? Because now you're entrenched in whatever you are. I think people sometimes forget what other people are going through. Now I want to tell you, I want to go back, and I'm just going to say that Black lady just because it's easier to remember. What was her name, Mel? Because I think you remember. Did I write her name down? She was a beautiful lady. Her name is Carla. She was the largest woman. She was a Carla, I think was her friend. I think Carla was her friend. She was the largest woman. It was like they were partners. Remember they did that duo? And this Black lady that was so critical of everything that happened on the show for the most part. She was partners. I want to say her partner was Carla. It was her friend that she got to come on the show. Now, Carla was on there doing her darn thing. Every week she's dropping weight with the men. Like she's losing. Mind you, she was one of the biggest women. I think she was the biggest woman that they had ever had on the show. Well, her friend was dropping, and she would not lose it. And, Bob would say, run for 30 seconds. And she would get to that, he'd count down. Or I don't know if he was counting up or down. I want to say down. And when he would get to that, 2, 1, she would stop. And I was like, she's so close. I remember even watching the show like, this lady is so close. But she would not do it. And honestly, I'm going to tell you, as somebody who motivates kids and motivates, people to learn and to give their extra effort, he just wasn't the person to motivate her. So this is what he did. He did what we're all probably used to that have been overweight or growing up as a child. Instead of him giving her that gentle, loving push or saying, hey, I'm just going to give you some time. I'm going to give you something to think about. Give her some, things to read. Give her some inspirational music. He went in. And you know what she said? This broke my heart. She said, and, a lot of times when people seem like they're just stubborn and they won't budge, and you can't get a breakthrough with them, it's some trauma that happened that won't allow that. So this is what got me. She said that, I think I wrote this down. She said, wait, where is that at? Her name was Joelle, that was her name. She said she thought it was reckless of The Biggest Loser to use personal trainers as therapists, because she said that's what they stepped into. And she didn't think Bob was ready to be a therapist in her eyes. She said he went off on her, and he even told her to shut the F up. And they played it, right? They didn't play that, they beat that out, but he told her to shut the F up. They might have played it because it was Netflix. They think they did play it. And she said, this was what got me. She said she was abused at home, and she did not expect to come there and be abused that way. She said she was embarrassed, and she would get that from her home. And when she came to The Biggest Loser, she thought she was coming to a safe space. And she said cursing her out did not help her. It just made it worse. And I thought I can relate to that, because I remember growing up, when I was a chunky kid, and eventually I'll show these pictures. When I get to my 100 pounds, I'm going to show everything. But when I was, chunky as a kid, I remember people would say, like, it was like punishment, right? Or it was like ridicule to get you to stop, or jokes, right? And that didn't do anything but just make me go to food for more comfort, right? That's where I learned to go to it for not just like, okay, we're eating because we need to. We're eating because we're celebrating a birthday. Now I'm eating it because despite you, I'm just going to eat it anyway. And it took me back to feeling that way for her. So I thought, even though, because I remember on the show thinking, if she would just do that little extra thing. Now in my 53-year-old, what I know now, which, age brings wisdom for most of us, hopefully. But I just thought she needed that gentle push. She did not need that ridicule. She didn't need that Bob that was going to go out. She needed that Bob that was going to sit down and really talk to you and find out, why can't you go that extra 2 seconds? And honestly, I think she could have. I think it was him. And nothing against him saying it was his fault, but I just think the way he did it, she was like, I'm not going to do that for him, right? Because he probably would have felt so good. I made this breakthrough with this lady. This lady wasn't doing a thing here. And I made a breakthrough, and I think she wasn't going to give him that satisfaction. I think she had that going on, and that's probably how she reacted with her parents or whoever it was. She didn't say, but how she was raised. And so I think a lot of times we have to think about that, because sometimes, even as a teacher, I don't really raise my voice, but it is times I get heated or get upset with the kid, and I have to say to myself, they're probably getting this at home, so let me do something different. Let me approach it different. And when you're in the emotion of it all, you don't always do that. So that just really just got to me and broke my heart for her. And then when she talked about when it was time to leave, it was duos, and she got on this scale. That we're on the time this whole thing happened with Bob, and she dropped 0 weight. So of course, but the people on there were like giving it to her because they loved her partner, because they saw her partner as like going above and beyond, but they did not see this for her. And they basically told her like give us a reason to keep you here. And she didn't really have anything. She wasn't very talkative. Now, one thing I will say about this lady is she did give some big ups to the GLP-1. She said it takes away that food noise. I said, honey, you definitely are on it. And she looks good. This lady looks good. So I don't know what happened to her over the years. She's kind of had some bitter feelings about Biggest Loser, but she looks great. She lost weight. She looks healthy. And she's taking a GLP-1. She is taking a GLP-1. And I just saw good for her for making a choice for her. And I think if she had to do it all over again, she'd never go on that Biggest Loser. She said they basically humiliated her. I had to write that down, because I just thought, geez, Louise, it's a lesson in that, right? Even if you didn't think this lady was the best. And the fact that people are voting you off and telling you you're not good enough on a show where you went in there with already low self-esteem. So I just think this show, I think the intention started off good, but I think once they got that popularity, those producers were willing to do anything to get views. And unfortunately, that came at the sacrifice of people who already had shattered self-esteem, shattered, ideas about how they looked, trauma going on in their life, all of that, right? So they just played into that. Let's see. I saw somebody, Doris, how are you? We were talking about you, trainer. If you said I gain if I eat over 1,300 calories. Yes, but also the calories are for your size. So, you're at your size. That's probably like exactly what you need. But for me, I'm gonna need what they told me I should be eating, Doris, 2,400 and some calories at DEXA scale. Jeez Louise. So when I go, that guy's gonna be like, you haven't been dropping like you should, because you're not eating enough. I could just hear him saying that. And it's just such a mind twist, because you think not eating enough is you're gonna lose, right? But you have that whole, like, your body reacts a certain kind of way and kind of goes into starvation mode. Because I'm gonna tell you, this is another thing. Most of my friends and family are used to seeing me within this weight range, maybe 10 pounds less, like, for a long time. So when people who saw me get up to past 300 and saw all of the weight, of course I look great to them. But some people are only used to seeing me look like this, because I haven't seen a lot. Some people who haven't seen me, they think like, oh, this is how she always looks. So it's going to be a real shocker when I actually slim down into that Wonderland, because I have people who haven't seen me in Wonderland, and since I was in my Wonderland, my 18, 19, probably, because I've been up there. Maybe I was like in my mid-20s, but I've always been like right above 200 and wearing it well, though. Right? Wearing that 200 well. People would have never guessed I was 200. And on my driver's license, I would put 185, but I knew I was above 200. I'm not going to tell the driver's license folks. I'm not going to tell the people. But yeah, so yeah, it's just funny. Okay, so what are you saying? Scrolling down. Okay, I'll have to find out where I left. GLP-1, you said GLP-1 when used properly is much healthier. So you mean all the lifestyle changes? GLP-1s, Brenda says, is not a magic bullet. You still have to do the work. Yes, and people don't seem to realize that. Jillian, are you listening, Jillian? I think some people don't have appropriate guidance. Maybe they're with the telehealth that doesn't really provide appropriate medical support. I know that's not a popular opinion, but I know people. Did you continue that thought, Mel? Oh, in this situation. Okay. Yeah. And I know how much help the telehealth companies provide, but I just know, yeah, some people aren't. It's Darium with the self edit. Come on in, Darium. How are you? Um, let's see. That's not motivation. The treatment can be a catalyst, yes, to serious results. Some people are one comment away for yes. That is. Oh gosh, let me give you some confetti. What a great thought. That is so true. That is so true. And we always talk about the weight of it all, but I also think being so thin. I mean, that lady Rachel. Just think about all those comments she got. Meanwhile, she's strutting out there thinking she looks good, and they tore her up. And just imagine the show basically kind of canceled, and they thought we got to push back. They wanted to, because they were showing these. If you watch the documentary, they were showing all these clips of the news outlets, and they were like, it was every headline was this. So can you imagine being her and you're thinking you're looking good, you done lost this weight, and people are like, no ma'am, no, no, no. And so I know some thin people who also go through that as well. So it's like any extreme is not good. Like, can we agree to that? Any extreme is not going to be the best. Some gain if they eat under too. Yes, that's true. Taisha says, I think people that were used to overeating regularly are leaning heavy into the appetite suppression and faster weight loss. At least I was in the beginning. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, and that's what they do. And I guarantee you they're less than 100 calories. I know, and I mean, I don't know if people were not telling me the truth, but I remember my lives early on, people would come in there and people were saying that they were eating 800 calories, 1,000 calories. They were struggling to get in that. Some people were saying they weren't eating at all. They could barely eat anything. The one girl was saying she was just eating a boiled egg, and water. And, it's like, that's an extreme diet. Isn't that, we're not on the GLP-1s to do an extreme diet. So I would feel like if your appetite was that suppressed, then you need to go down lower until you get to the dose where you can eat. And then maybe the micro dosing, even that 2.5. And I don't know how that works. You would have to talk to a doctor, but get to a point where you can eat. Because if you can't eat, I would say your dose is too high. And I had that problem on 12.5. And then I said, I'm going to just see what happens in a few weeks. Because, I've been on it so long. I know after a while, your body gets used to it. Now, if this was me when I first started, I wouldn't have had that knowledge. I would have had to lean on my doctor to kind of work me through it. But because now, I've been on it for so long, I kind of, I know. And then when I'm in doubt or question a thing, I contact my doctor. So having a doctor is so key. And, Mel said it, and I don't know if you're on a compound in here, tell us, or do you have access to a telehealth company that has a dietitian or a nutritionist that you could call? And when they answer and talk to you about it, because I think that's so important on this journey. Let's see. I think I scrolled down too much. What did Darium say? TBL is a sensational TV show, and they tormented those contestants. Oh, The Biggest Loser, in the name of ratings and acceptance of attacking people with obesity. And this is another thing too they got criticized for, is the challenges. Remember those temptations? And if you ate certain foods and stuff, you had these temptations. And one of the audience members, one of the ladies, I don't know if she was a contestant, she was kind of like almost like a narrator in this thing. You guys remember her? She was like the lady sitting at that table kind of by herself, and she was kind of like the narrator. But she said something that struck me too. She said being on that, being a bigger person, she said there's a combination of things going on, which we kind of have heard this, but I just thought, she said it and I wrote it down. She said, you could feel totally invisible and look through when you're overweight. At the same time, you could feel highly visible and stared at. And neither way is a good feeling, because when you're being stared at because you're too big and you can be seen too easily because, people can't necessarily look past you, that's an embarrassing feeling. And then it's also not, I don't know if you would feel embarrassed, but probably just like invisible and probably not valuable if people just like go right past you, like you don't even matter because you're overweight. And isn't it sad that the value you have in society is tied to how you look and your weight? It just really, it is. If we're being honest, it is. And I just can't even imagine being somebody who has weight loss issues and, and not thinking of themselves as beautiful, even if they slim down. Because some people slim down and say, oh, I'm still not beautiful. And then they go for the plastic surgery on the face and all of that. So it's just a real thing. It's unfortunately that, just like we know let's focus on the content, the character and what we have on the inside and not focus so much on the outside. Let's be valued by, what we have in our hearts. And unfortunately, the big giant world out there is not like that. Reset with Danissa says, I'm not eating enough calories right now. I think I may need to go back to 5. I bet I can lose some hair if I can't eat. Oh, yeah, I bet you could lose hair. So you don't want to do that. So I think you probably, if you can't eat, you need to go back down, but talk to your doctor. That's just my opinion. But we know you have to eat to lose weight, right? So if we know we got to eat to lose weight, you got to tweak something, and that might be your dose. But I would definitely check with your doctor before you do that. She says, oh no, Doris. Hey, Joni, how are you? She says, I'm 1.8 pounds away from your goal. You started at 283.5. You're at 131.8. Your goal is 130 pounds. Yes, geez, Louise. I love it. You're down 151.7 pounds. I mean, let's celebrate. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe that. Go, Joni. Go, Joni. Go, Joni. Go, Joni. Go, 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 Joni. Joni. I mean, geez, Louise, 157. I mean, 151.7. I love how you put that 0.7 up there. Like, give me my 0.7. That is amazing. I am so happy for you. And so you're almost at your goal. Joni, did you ever think you could do it? I was watching somebody today or listening to somebody today, and they said, these GLP-1s has given us like the hope that there is a reality to get to our goal. And I think that is so true, because for me, I would have never seen myself losing 75 pounds. I would have thought, I get to 50 maybe, and that's it. Now, I'm like, okay, my next goal is to get to 100, and then after that, I want to lose down to, get in the overweight, out of the overweight range, which the top of that for me, as far as I know right now today, is 149. So that puts me, I still have like a lot to lose, and that's okay. I'm not thinking like, oh, I'm not gonna do it. I'm thinking I'm just gonna do it. When the question is when, not if. And I think that the GLP-1 has given me that hope and that that confidence to know I can do it. I agree, Taisha. I also feel that hunger cues are triggers for some, and they avoid. Yeah, yeah. And that's a great question to ask. Do you guys believe in feeling hungry on this GLP-1? Do you guys think that that you should be hungry while taking the GLP-1? What do you guys think? Because I have a feeling when people start to feel hungry, what do? They titrate up. Now, you guys should know, following my story, I don't just titrate up. As soon as there's a change, I kind of try to tweak some things until I just can't do it. But are you opposed to being hungry, being on this GLP-1? Yes or no? Somebody said congratulations to Joni. Okay. Joni, what did you do? DJ Myers says hit that like button. Bev, how are you? How are you? Bev, she says, hey, DD and fam, I'm late. What did I miss? I've been MIA for a minute. Lots going on at church. No, I love that you're involved in your church like that. We're talking about the Biggest Loser documentary, and I just asked a question. What was it? I don't know what I asked, Bev, now. Jeez, Louise. You said you started drinking more electrolytes. I need to find ones I like. So I've been tasting different brands. I have a running list of questions for my doctor. I love how you said for your doctor. Very good. Now let's give her some confetti, because she's actually talking about going to your doctor, because we want to really advocate for that. Talking about a doctor, this is a great time for me to add this comment in here. This guy, oh my goodness. I am going to be putting out a video tomorrow. I just got to get it out tomorrow. It's going to be of round mound of Zepbound. I was trying to decide whether I was going to call him Charles or not. And I'm going to tell you, Charles, this was a great interview. I'm telling you, the first like 30 minutes, it's like we're dropping some gems up in there. I mean, if you are a person who worries about cancer, because he has that, just he gives tips on how he discovered it, what to look for, what to find. And I don't know that he's talked about this in another interview. He also just watch the first 30 minutes because I know it's like an hour and it's like 14 minutes. I want you to watch the whole thing, but I'm just telling you, if you're low on time and you just, some gems are being dropped. Like it doesn't start like a normal interview where we're just like, what's your journey? Da, da, da. No, we're into it right at the beginning. And that's because, of course, I've been watching him. He's been, watching my channel. Like he was one of the people commenting and following me when I was faceless. And just the downsizing diva with no face, just the voice and B-roll. And so, I just kind of have been watching his journey, watching him come along, and he was talkative. A lot of times Charles is very like, and a lot of men are like, they don't say a whole lot. They just, they're not very descriptive and detailed. Well, he was this time like that, just to have like, I didn't think the interview would even be an hour. So really watch that. I mean, I want to tell you, he's dropping some gems. I mean, he was doing all the things, and he's had to tweak some things, and I just remember watching him and he was just dropping. And so yeah, that it's a good one. So I'm going to try to get that out tomorrow evening sometime. And if not, the very latest, it'll be up Friday for sure. But I want to put it out Thursday evening and into Friday. And I'm telling you, you need to watch it. It's some gems dropped. I mean, just the first 30 minutes, like I said, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot. So you guys have to give me feedback too. Let me know what you think about it when it comes out, because I just thought he did an amazing job. He's been interviewing with different people. He interviewed for Yahoo magazine too. But this is what's up. This is the interview. And then he's going to be coming on here on live the following Wednesday. So come and talk to him. He's going to be live talking with us. He's going to be giving us some tips on how he's, is doing his thing. And just give you a little bit of, if you don't watch his channel, go subscribe to his channel. But he's had some struggles in maintenance. So if you're one of those people that are in maintenance or close to maintenance, come and see what his struggle was. But yeah, I just thought he did a nice job. And it's not like, oh, he lost all his weight, he's a guy. No. It's none of that. It's like really some gems drop that we all can benefit from, especially on the medical side. So anyway, I had to get that in there. So next Wednesday, come and hang out with the both of us. This is going to be epic because I don't know if he's been live before. I don't know. So yeah, so this will be nice. I'm looking forward to it. All right. So back to the chat. Okay. What did you guys say? You need to drink more water. Okay. Very good. Darium, your mom started you on what too? Coffee? Let me go back up into this chat. Okay. Well, guys, I'm so far behind. We were talking about that Profi. Okay, I got that. Okay, Joni. Oh, people are congratulating Joni. I was like, what are you congratulating for? Didn't I just read that? I'm telling you, a mind is a terrible thing sometimes. Okay. All right. People are saying hello. I'm glad I found this community early on. I forced myself to eat even when I couldn't, from all the advice about getting enough nutrients. Yes. Thank you for that. I love that. Very good. I love that because we want to be a source of helpfulness. And I think everybody does on their channels. And, we all may be different, but, a lot of us have the same or similar messages. Everyone per Bellflower's earlier chat. Oh, thank you, Mel. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. JC, yes, coffee is going to make you dehydrated. You have to be mindful. I drink coffee because I'm hooked on just 1 cup of Bustelo espresso. Okay, so you like espresso. Okay, all right. Yes, it's a diuretic. Mel knows what's good for you. Yes, you're absolutely right, Darium. Yes. Mel is saying congratulations. I've been drinking coffee since making Santa coffee for my grandma in the middle of the night back in the 80s. All right. Okay, Grandma. 1 cup a day, mushroom coffee. Now, what's up with that mushroom coffee? I've heard so much about the mushroom coffee of it all, and I just wonder, should I try that? I'm just tired of buying all the things. I just want to like ease up and not buy anything. I just cannot do protein powders, and I don't care for dairy. Okay, me either. I'm not a big dairy person, but I do like the Fairlife. You said a few espresso shots for me mixed with protein shake a day is better than previously dangerous start. Yeah. And so you made a substitute, a good one. But you're not adding a bunch of like sugary stuff in it. And I think everything in moderation. Some people are drinking coffee and that's really all they're doing is drinking coffee and maybe one little meal. So I think we got to get past that. She says, I know not always, but usually, as I understand it, hair loss comes from a lack of nutrition, not so much weight loss. Yes. And I've been following wig influencers. Brenda, we're going to give you a yes, Brenda. She said, just in case. Y'all not going to take me out. I know that's right, Brenda. Jeez, Louise. I love that. Very good. Coffee has never been an appetite suppressant for me. Okay, all right. So it doesn't suppress. It does mine for some reason. Random and unrelated. Do you know your body water percentage? Just curious if you have a percent to try to stay at. Oh, that's a good question. Grace, losing it, Grace. I'm losing around 1 pound a week. So far, I had a dietitian who wanted me to do 1,000 calories a day. I'm glad I didn't follow that. So you do get a lot of protein in. Okay, very good. You didn't follow that. Let's give you some confetti. We love that, Doris. You like, no, no, no. I knew that wasn't the right thing to do for your body. Cookie says, I drink 10 ounces of Profi daily and plenty of water to replenish. Okay, so that's the best way to do it. That is the best. But you're only getting 10 ounces. So that's not somebody who's drinking coffee throughout their day. And if you are, that's okay. I just think you got to drink double the amount of water to counteract that. My grandma started me on that too. Granny, I need to drink more. Yes, a lot of people does. Thank you for being honest about that. How lucky you know your body and chose a healthier path. Yes, Doris, I agree. Yes, Grace, I agree. For Doris, we love that. I just started drinking coffee. I hate it, but I only have 1 cup maybe every other day to wake up. Yes, that's kind of like me. And it's espresso because my husband is a caffeine addict. Oh my goodness. Jeez. That espresso, if you're drinking pure espresso, like not, fancy, flavored and all that. I mean, that stuff is strong. People do protein coffee, protein tea, protein soda, protein matcha, protein chai, protein water, protein. Protein cookies, protein muffins, protein cakes, protein this, protein that. We're going to make a protein hat. I don't know. Jeez, Louise. Every time somebody says protein, 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 it reminds me of the Brady Bunch where she said, Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. That just tickles me every time. Oh, okay. A coffee mate. My mom used to use that coffee mate. Coffee mate was a thing. What is that? What is that? Dried dairy? Many people have injured their metabolism and may need to do a reverse diet to fix it. Hashtag not a doctor. Hashtag not a dietitian. Yeah, I think that's so true, Mel. A lot of us. Well, we know the Biggest Loser, folks. That's why a lot of them are chunky, which brings me to this. Let's look at this guy. Now, this guy was bashing GLP-1s. I'm just going to say it. If he's your fave, I'm going to, you can let us know. I'll take it easy on him. I'm curious about body weight. I drink 16-ounce bottles per day, and my scale says my body water is low. Wow, I wonder if your scale is accurate. You would only know that if you had a DEXA scan or an in-body scan, and the DEXA scan is kind of like the gold standard for that. But I wonder. Okay, all right. So look at this guy. This is the one criticizing the GLP-1. This is how he started Biggest Loser in the navy shirt. That was his, before. And then he lost so much of his weight. I want to say he lost 40+%. I can't remember. His name is Danny. And then this was him in the documentary right here in the orange shirt. I mean, and just look how he is even bigger, it looks like, than where he started. And this is what he said. Did I write this down? I don't know if I wrote this down. But he said the GLP-1, people don't know what it's going to do long term. And, you know, he's going to go back to doing what he knows to do, which is exercise and diet. And which, I mean, so exercising and dieting took him from this to this to now this. Now you're bigger than when you initially started. So I don't know if he would, you know, it would be that smart to keep doing the same old thing and getting the same old results. Like you lose, you gain, you lose, you gain. So that's why I say try something different. Do you guys know Danny? I remember he was one of my favorites. So he's another one. Watching this documentary just gave me a different perspective on him because he was one of my faves on there. Jeez Louise. You know, what are you going to say? Male, I used to eat cremoa by the spoonful. Really? Jeez Louise. Yeah, okay, it was Joelle and her partner Carla. Yes. Oh, and Carla was doing it. I would love to see how where Carla is now, because I'm telling you, say what you want to say about Joelle. If you're a Bob Harper fan, or if you were on there with thinking this lady needs to go, she's messing up her partner. She looks great now. So she has the last laugh because she looks great now. Hopefully, you know, her health and all that, because you can look great on the outside, but not be healthy still. But she seems like she is. And she spoke so highly of the GLP-1. She says, taking that food noise away is what's up. If you have to eat 1,200 calories or more a day, does that make fasting unhealthy? Well, I don't know, because that's a good question. But I'm thinking if you're fasting, your body, your cells are repairing themselves and all of that. I think it probably after a certain time. But that's a great question, because I wondered too, like, is your metabolism damaged if you are fasting a lot? And I guess it is. I guess that's probably the downside of it, right? And if you're fasting often, you're not going to have that weight problem because you're continuing to do it. But that's a great question. Let me Google it. Google it. I'm gonna Google that and see what they say, MVP. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to copy your thing, what you just said. Probably not. No, let's see. Now let's put a star just in case I lose it. So let's find out if you I want to know if it messes with your metabolism if you eat 1,200 calories. But I guess that also would depend on your body weight and stuff. Will that slow down your metabolism? Let's see. And I know you said unhealthy. I don't think it's unhealthy though. So I've heard so many benefits, but I'm just wondering from the metabolism. It says yes, a prolonged 1,200 calorie diet can slow down your metabolism because your body enters the state of a starvation mode to conserve that energy, reducing your calorie expenditure and potentially causing weight loss, plateaus, and muscle loss. However, whether 1,200 calories slows your metabolism depends on your individual needs, which I did say, which are influenced by your age, your sex, your weight, and your activity level. So it can be too low for some people, but it just would depend on your size and all of that. So let me see. So if you eat 1,200 calories, is that 1,200 calories, is that considered unhealthy? Let's see. I don't think so, though. I also think it probably depends on you. It said it can be unhealthy because a very low intake can lead to, yeah. So where are you getting your nutrients from? I guess that's why it's considered MVP. It can be unhealthy. And it depends on how long you do it too. But just see. So people that say they're fasting. Now I know athletes that are on vegan diets and eating, plant-based, diets and all that. You could still, build muscle, and we have athletes and all those people. But I wonder, people that fast, they always look small and a little bit frail to me. Now, I don't know everybody that fast. I'm just saying the people that I see. So I do see, I wonder how much their muscle have they lost with the fasting? Like if they're muscular or they're just thin. And sometimes people look weak, that aren't exercising and building that muscle. They just look frail. So I wonder if they have some of that going on. That's a great question. Hey, Delilah, Carla, the bigger one, and Jolene, the one on the Netflix show. Yes, Carla. Carla was doing it and doing it and doing it well. Doing it and doing it and doing it well. Same. That's why I'm wondering. I need to bring this up to my provider because my labs say I'm overhydrating, and I realize the scale is not so accurate. But which is it? Okay, so you're wondering if you're at both extremes. Okay, well, let us know. Check in with your doctor and let us know. That's interesting. She was defiant on purpose. People use that as a coping skill. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what she was doing. And man, it was sad. Yes, yep, I said the same thing. And I really think she was doing it as a way to get back at Bob too. Jillian may not have had food noise or a lot of things that people on GLP-1s have. Not everyone has the same weight to lose, has disordered eating or the same level of disordered eating. Yes, I agree. So you are 100% correct. Let's give you some confetti because I believe that too. So, just her saying she's overweight. Did she have food noise? Does she have cravings? Was she overweight because she was just, maybe not working out as much at the time? It could be a lot of different things. And some people I know say they don't have food noise. They never had it. So your journey might be a lot different. You might have a lot less to lose, but you still have some to lose, but it just could be different for a whole lot of reasons. Not everyone who's overweight has trouble losing weight. Yes, that's true. It could be an electrolyte imbalance. Okay. Yes, some they have the same disease of obesity, while some have overweight. Okay, very good. Yes. I started drinking. I read that. Okay, I had skipped out. Gabe, he says, which episode was this? I don't know if it was 1, 2, or 3. The one where they talk to Jolene. That's the girl, the African American lady with her friend. She was throughout all 3 episodes, I think. So I remember seeing her on the first one, and she was a little bit on the second. Like she was, Allie was right, and not Allie from the GLP-1, Allie from The Biggest Loser, the former contestant Allie. She said she was on there doing a lot of talking, and she was one of the people bashing it. But yeah, they featured her a lot, so she probably getting paid some moolah. So Gabe, did you start yet? Are you still starting? What's your status? Let's see. I knew you would see that. People are saying hi to Gabe. Okay. Let's see. I recently saw a dietitian. She said I should be taking 13 to 1400 calories, but I'm still around 250 pounds. Why would I be eating the same calories as someone who is smaller? Yes, because she wants you to lose faster, because that's going to take you down faster. And are you exercising? Because that might make a difference too. That was so extreme. My doctor would have yanked me off the GLP-1 so fast. So that lady, I'm sorry, so so fast. One look at that in-body scan in her office, and that would have been it. Okay, all right, very good. Congratulations, Joni. That is awesome. Thank you, DJ Meyer. Margarine, how are you? How are you? She says, congratulations. That is incredible. And people are saying, hello. I must be so far back in this chat. Moved up to 10 milligrams and loving it. No side effects. And the suppression is amazing. No food noise. Okay, very good. Okay, we're going to give you some credit for moving on up to dose 10. Geez, Louise, no food noise. 10 is my sweet spot. I love 10 until it didn't work. And that took 6.5 to 7 months. Yes. 10 was definitely my friend. All right. So you guys are saying congratulations to Shay, to Joni. Oh, yeah, we love when you hit your spot. Joni, here's your flowers. That's so cute. I love that. People are saying congratulations. Wait a minute. Margie says, Shay, I just took my first 10. You are a 10 too. You are on 7.5 for 3 months. Okay, very good. Good for you. All right, you're moving on up. Geez Louise, can you imagine when I get to 15? I mean, I'm just gonna feel like I'm like, I don't know what you call that when you feel like you've reached the pinnacle, like the top of it. Like, how will I feel? I don't know. I do think you feel hungry a bit. Okay, so you do believe in feeling hungry. People should or can feel hungry. You think that's okay. Taisha, you said you don't think you should feel hungry on a GLP-1. Why do you say no? We should feel hungry. Our bodies need fuel, just not crazy hunger. Okay. I think it's the constant need to eat for boredom, etc., that I no longer have is the biggest blessing. Yes, I agree. I think you should still feel hungry, but not starving yourself. Okay, very good. Nerd, hey nerd, how are you? I'm feeling okay with feeling hungry, but I'm vigilant, I'm sorry, about the food noise that may or may not come with it that renders me powerless about what to eat. So I like a dose where I get hunger cues, but have, I think you're saying, control. Excellent. I love that. Very good. So let's give you some confetti. Very good. I agree with that too. Okay, okay. All right, all right, all right. Wait, I skipped Darium. The downsizing diva is caring and compassionate content creator. She is not a doctor, pharmacist, or a therapist. Please check with your medical professionals for your plan of care. Thank you. Oh, I love that. I love Charles too. He is awesome. Yes, it's normal to feel hunger cues, and we should recognize and differentiate between that and food noise if you can. I would agree with that. Awesome. Can't wait for Charles's interview. He's awesome. Okay, very good. So people are saying they're looking forward to Charles. No, as in no, I'm not against having the desire to eat. Okay, very good. Round Mound did a great plug for the video, DD. He said you made him feel so comfortable and so much vulnerability in it. Yes. You got to see it. You got to see it. It's like, yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit more after because I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but just watch it. It's very good. Thank you so very much, everyone. I am so much more healthier and happier than I've ever been. Well, we got to celebrate that. Yes, yes, yes. Very good. And I would have to say, I would agree with that. Very good. All right. Do you guys want to play the game? Because I'm not even through the comments. Dee Dee, thank you for all your great info as always. You are wonderful to have here to keep me going. Okay, very good. Good night. Come back and watch the game tomorrow. Fast forward up to the game. DJ Meyer. LOL, the mushroom coffee is the best tasting thing, but it helped move some things along for me. Yes, yes, yes. Very good. Anchor Moments. Hello, Dee Dee. I got to see your Charles interview and watch that Netflix special. Yes, you got to do it, Anchor Moments. You're going to love it. Look how beautiful you are. Look at that pic. That looks like a glamour shot. Jeez Louise. Jeff and Gina, hey, Anchor Moments, how are you? Margie, that's what my sister was telling me, the movement of it all. Jeez Louise. All right, so let's play this quick game really quick. It's a lot of comments. Let's see, I'm trying to kind of scroll down to share what are you up to. I'm looking to see if it's a question or something. Dee Dee, you are an awesome interviewer and also very compassionate when you're interviewing. Thank you. I try to be, but I also want to ask the questions that everybody wants to know and nobody else is probably asking. You know what I'm saying? I try to really, because, it's like questions I have. So that's why I want to interview people I really watch and want to learn about because, it just is natural to like, to dig into it. I love that. Bellflower. She says, Downsizing Divas, always trying to make somebody cry. You are the interview go. I know this will be great. But you know what? I really wasn't trying. I really wasn't trying. But yeah, it just you do have empathy once you talk to somebody and you could just kind of feel their energy. You feel that they want to open up. People do have told me that they really do trust me. So I really, to open up and that they can be safe. So that really makes me happy. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to keep interviewing because everybody was telling me that. And I thought, okay, well, this is good. Yes, yes, yes. What was the shock? I don't know. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me try that again without typos. I am bursting inside to share what happened here today. Very unexpected. What happened here today that was unexpected. I'm so excited for you to get it, Paul. What are you getting, Paul? What are you getting? Did I miss it? I want to know. Next month, I'm going to get a DEXA scan and RMR analysis. Is it worth? It's absolutely worth it. Go, Paul, get a DEXA. Go, Paul, get a DEXA. I'm pro DEXA scan, 110%. I am. Let's see. Remember that? My man. I am. Go for it, Paul. I can't wait to hear about it. I am going to be clicking on that thumbnail faster than you can say I'm back from my DEXA scan. Bellflower, she says, be careful about lumping intermittent fasting and fasting for temporary purposes like religion, medical. Intermittent fasting just means you're eating calories between certain intervals. Yes, so that way you could still get it in. So I thought she was talking about fasting for like a long period of time. Those folks that do it for religious reasons and stuff, like I do see those. Sometimes those folks do look a little frail. So, but then you might have some going to the gym, working it out. I don't know, but yeah, I'm only going with what I see. That's probably not the majority though. It's absolutely worth it, Paul. Okay, people are telling him it's absolutely worth it. Okay, here it goes. Might be a long one. Okay, so let's play this quick game and then we're out of here because we did do some celebrations. Let's see. All right, so this game is called, I've seen folks 36 and 48 hour. I don't think that that's bad, but I get not that any of it's bad, but I don't think that's so long. Now, I don't know if I could do that. Paul, your current weight loss is 42 point. Well, I just remember you saying it was 20 something. Paul, what in the what? Go, Paul. Go, Paul. Go, Polly Paul. Go, Paul. Polly Paul. Jeez Louise, Polly Paul. Jeez Louise. 42 and a half pounds. You are doing it well. He's doing it and doing it well. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited because I know you say it's harder for you to lose weight and it's kind of not even really heard of for you to lose this much weight. So very good for you. You got to be feeling good. I'm feeling so good. I knew that I would be taking care of my life like I should. I'm not gonna let things hold me down. Polly Paul, you are doing it. Jeez Louise, I love that. What a great victory for you. That's a scale victory and we'll take it. Yes, I couldn't have said it better, Harjarine. Okay, let's play this quick game and then we're out of here. It's 10:12. I gotta get in the bed. I gotta work tomorrow. All right, so this game is called it's safe or risk it. So are you going to play it safe or are you going to risk it? So I'm going to give you a scenario, and this is related to the Biggest Loser because that's our topic. And I want you to say if it's safe. You think it sounds reasonably healthy, and I want you to give me a risk it if you think it sounds dangerous or extreme or heck to the gnaw. Heck to the no. All right, Paul. Paul, are you in? Paul is taking it all in. Let me give Paul his flowers. She did a mic drop, Paul. Bam, bam. So go over on Paul's channel and check him out. And then that reminds me, if you're a content creator, put a mic drop in the chat and click on them and go over there and see what they're about and subscribe if you're into the vibe that they're giving off, the information that they're sharing, the story, the journal, the suspense of it all. All right, so this is called, let me write this on there. Did I write it already? Risk it, safe. I probably wrote it. Jeez, Louise, you go Downsizing Diva. All right, so I'm going to give you a scenario. You're going to say you think it's safe, or you're like, you can't risk it. If you put risk it, that means you think it's risky, right? So number one, contestants on the Biggest Loser ate as little as 800 calories a day. Is this safe or is this a risk? Which one do you think it is? And I'm going with risk. All right, so look at these content creators in here. We have Simply Taisha. we have Harjareen. Harjareen's been going live too. Check her out. She's been going live, and I think I'm at work during the time so far since you've been live, but that's okay. I catch the replay. Okay, so people are saying, what are we saying? We're saying reset with Anissa. Anissa is a content creator. Go check her out as well. We already said our Polly Paul is a content creator. Very good. Okay, so we're saying risk. Yeah, I think that 800 calories, I'm sorry, that's risky. That is risky. We don't want to jack up our metabolism. And that's what I'm thinking. I was asking about fasting. Yes, that's what I thought. So not intermittent fasting. Yeah, because intermittent fasting, you can still get in 1,200 calories. You just aren't eating as often. So many mixed messages. I was thinking about Darian's response. Maybe long-term continuous fasting is not good. Probably so. The long term of it all. Heck to the no. All right, there we go. All right, Nicole. All right, since I have Nicole up here, I think I mentioned this. I forgot to go back to it. Thank you, Nicole. Nicole, on my community post, I'm going to show you. Now, this is our biggest loser. Now, we're not saying I don't know how many pounds she's lost. Maybe I can't remember. But I do know, look at this lady. She actually, look at this. Look at this. I mean, geez, Louise. Look at this. She actually can fit her two legs into her one pant leg. Who does that? Nicole does it. Look at that. Nicole, this just gave me pause today. And I thought, geez, Louise, you got to be so proud of yourself. So that is on my community post. I'd appreciate it. In here, she's in the chat. So we're giving her some love, I'm hoping. But please go and comment on there. And so because you can't go, I don't know if you could go back to these messages as convenient, but just go in there and post and let her know what a great job she has done. So if she's ever feeling like, she's struggling or challenged in any kind of way, she could go back and look at those comments. So go back and comment. Don't leave out of the live to do it now until we finish this game. But let Nicole know that she did a great job. I mean, I've seen people do this like on TV and commercials, but I never actually saw somebody in real life. So I am impressed and proud. Nicole, yes. Let's give Nicole some confetti. Look at this. Jeez, Louise, lady, this is awesome. Go Nicole. Go Nicole. Go Nicole. Nicole. Go Nicole. Go Nicole. Love it. Jeez, Louise. And when I say biggest loser, yeah, let's see the biggest loser folks do that. Now they may have done that, but I haven't seen it. All right. We're here. We're back at it, Nicole. Let's back in the comments. Okay. So you guys are saying risky. Okay, yes, I'm exercising. Okay, 13 to 1400 seems too low for me, even if the dietitian said to do that. I've been shooting for 1500, but I do struggle most days to get that in. I have to make myself. Okay. So I would stick to that, your calorie, whatever you're doing, do something consistent though, and then take that information to your doctor and go from there. But I think you do have to be consistent at it. You know what I'm saying? Like doing something. Even doctors differ in their opinions and their views. Yes. Okay, very good. Incredible. Yes. Amazing. Isn't that awesome? I just love that. I love that. I've been so busy, Nicole, and I saw when you sent that and I was like, I'm gonna go back and do it. But on Wednesdays I try to post something related to this. So I was like, I'm gonna wait and put it up on Wednesday. But we love that. Don't forget to go back and comment on that post for Nicole. I saw that and thought that could be a TikTok challenge, but you have to save some old clothing. Yes, you do. That's true, MVP. They should give you their rationale behind why or why not. Yes. MVP, part of the reason people do fasting is for sacrifice and extreme. Your body goes through over time. It is not healthy when people do fast for political or religious reasons to witness the impact. And think about, I don't know if you guys know Al Sharpton, but I remember when he first went he was first doing fasting and he was trying to lose weight, and I think he realized he could eat little to nothing, and that motivated him to, and I call it the Al Sharpton diet, where he just ate toast. He ate a couple pieces of toast in the morning. He drank some green smoothies, and he got on this treadmill every morning, and that's how he went from, being, a nice big size to like slim and trim. I mean, he doesn't look like he has an ounce of fat. Congratulations, Nicole. Yes, people are saying congratulations. A good calorie deficit equalizer is making your own Italian dressing with avocado oil. 3 to 4 tablespoons will help you make about 2 to 300 calories without feeling full. Great on salads. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. So you use olive oil. Okay, very good. Thank you, Paul. Paul. Yes, people. Yeah, but why do people look weak though? Like I see some people who do that who look kind of weak. So they probably aren't lifting weights. And are you gonna have the energy to lift weights if you're fasting? I think if you're let me just say, I think if you're doing it for religious reasons, I think, yeah, you're gonna have that wherewithal because God is gonna provide that. But if you're just doing it for weight loss reasons, there's health conscious reasons too. So I guess it would depend on, Doris, your motivation for doing it, but I guess people would do it for that too. But but not get nutrients in, is that really what is it gonna do? I don't know. I'm gonna talk to the DEXA scan folks about that. Poor Al, he looked like a bobblehead. Yes, he got that. And I can't talk because my head is big, but at least my body is in proportion to it right now. Okay, here is the second statement. GLP-1 medications can cause nausea, vomiting, and fatigue as a common side effect. Is it safe or would you risk it? Is it risky to have those side effects on a GLP-1 medicine? Safe or risky? Are you going to risk it? And I'm gonna just tell you, I'm risking it now. If I feel like if you're, I feel like if you're on it, it's safe. I don't think it's risky. I meant to say, I think it's safe. I think if you're on it, um, it's safe, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. I don't think it's harmful unless you are one of those people that aren't really eating. All right, so we got safe. Oh, we got laughing at mail. We got safe. We got risk. We got risk, we got safe. Okay, all right. I would risk it. You said I would risk it. Safe, but talk to your doctor if over 3 days consistently. Great advice, great advice. Definitely risk it. You feel that way eating bad stuff, so might as well feel that way with He said you may as well feel that way with some oh my gosh, some medication that can help you out. I love that. That is too funny because they aren't doing it long enough. After so many days, the energy comes back, the body repairs itself doing. Oh, okay. How do you say that word? Autography. Autography? Autography. No. How do you say that, Mel? Spell it out, Mel. I can have my team partner do it. Some of these words. Oh my God. H2TY. I don't know what that means. Now that's too fancy for me. Sin, how are you? She said save. Sin, you remind me of my aunt every time you show up in the chat because that's her name. Love it. Safe but sucks. Okay. I really haven't had like the terrible bad side effects though of it all. So autophagy. 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 Fogey. Okay, so it's fogey, like faux. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mel. Paul, you speaking the truth on that because overeating, yeah, you do feel yucky sometimes. So yeah, Paul is saying if you're gonna feel that way anyway, may as well do it with GLP-1. That's gonna help with, not just the weight, but all of it, right? All right, what about this one? He said, ain't that right, Bev? Okay, we have two more. Um, Autophagy. Autophagy. No, autophagy. I hope that makes you get your last in for tonight, Mel. Alta Fuji. Eto guys, like you now, you and your phonics is not working. Let me ask my friend. Let's see. Um, let's see. Pronounce. Let's see what they say. Pronounce auto fugi. Auto figgy. Okay, let's listen. Are you ready?
Autophagy.
Autophagy. Autophagy. That autophagy. Okay, wait, let me see.
Autophagy.
Autophagy. Let's slow it down.
Autophagy.
Now, their spelling is AATA. So I would have got that. Autopha, FUH. What'd you put, Mel? Mel, you didn't help me with the phonics of it all. No wonder I couldn't get it. You guys didn't do it right. Okay, and then JEE.
Autophagy.
You got to be willing to laugh at yourself. Okay. Autophagy. 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 Come sing with me. Autophagy. Autophagy. And look at all those phonics examples. And then wait, what if my girl Taisha come in with just a G? I'm like, okay, now what in the world? Jeez, Louise. Oh my goodness, that tickled me. Okay, all right. We got one. Okay, this is our last one. Let me see. I'm gonna try to give you guys a hard one. You're too smart. You're smart with your phonics and all. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, what about this? And then we're gonna talk about the GLP-1 of it all. Okay, so some GLP-1 users fear they'll need to stay on the medication for life. Are you a lifer to maintain their results? If that is that safe? You think that sounds reasonable, or is that a risk? You think that sounds dangerous or extreme? And I'm going with safe on this one. It's safe if you want to stay. It's safe to stay on GLP-1s all day. It's safe to stay on your GLP-1s all day. Is it long term? We don't know, but do we want to go? Heck no. Jeez, low he's. I'm like the little kids that's sleepy and that's making up stuff. Dee Dee, I don't know, but I'm a lifer. Okay, all right. Safe until I start growing tentacles. That's right. Jeez, Louise, you guys are cracking me up. Jeez, Louisa. Now I see why I can't pronounce these words. It's the phonics of it all. They're not doing the phonics right. Jeez, Louise. All right, limitless living with Shanta. Oh, she come in with her own. Wait, hold up. Wait a minute. Shanta. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hit you with this. Bam.
Autophagy.
Love it. Thank you. A top. Now that sounds like how look how she spelled tough. A tough G. I like that. A tough a G. That's not that would make it in phonics 101. That would not make it though limitless, but that's helping me. Jeez Louise. I like it. Okay, lifer. Okay, you guys are lifer. Who else is like on this for the is any because most people it sounds like you're saying you're on it for the long term. Who is not? Who is like, no ma'am. Who's not on it for the long haul? She said check back in 5 years. Brenda, you said check back in 5 years. Mel, I am blaming your finances. Yeah, yeah. Okay, Brenda's checking back. Okay, I get that, Linda. Call me Jellyfish Girl because I'm not coming. I am. I think I'm a lifer too, and I didn't start off being one. Easy now that you heard it. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm like the phonics just don't match up, man. I love it. Jeez Louise. Okay, so let me just tell you before we leave out of here. So if you watch that documentary, they say, how does the GLP-1 of it all play into it? And they say that they feel like the GLP-1 could be a biggest loser. So this is my question to you. If they had a GLP-1 biggest loser, because they say, um, the way these things are going, and they start talking about Ozempic, that's a GLP-1 that everybody just, everything is Ozempic. So they were saying, they were kind of relating it to the side effects and how people were, passing out because they're not eating and, just all the things that could go wrong when you're not doing these GLP-1 medications correctly. Or I wouldn't say correctly, what the manufacturers tell you should do. When people are doing their own thing or for whatever reason, maybe they are doing it correctly and their body is just not responding that way. So they were saying they could see in the future it being a GLP-1 biggest loser. So my question to you, and you, would you go on a Biggest Loser GLP-1 edition? Now, let's take the money out of it because people might be saying, yeah, for 250,000, but what if it was just for you and your health of it all? Would you do it? Would you go on there, assuming it is what it is? Now, let's see. Let's hope they learned from like trainers that they're always going to have a trainer though, because I think they need the drama. They might have a trainer that's more like a DD, right? Like, and then they might have a trainer that's more like who is like a Judge Judy. What if you're Judge Judy and training you? Oh my God. She'd be like, losing weight is now, dumb as forever. You get on that scale. I can see Judge Judy going off. Geez Louise. So, what would you go on it? Okay, let's see. Uh, do we ask if Chick-fil-A is Jen? Yes, come in with it. Jen said, wait a minute, don't be questioning my GLP-1. Yes, Jen, I love that. Do we ask that? You know what? We don't even care, Jen. We just want to eat it. How about that? When I start growing a tail, I'm quitting. All right, Brenda. Brenda said, no, ma'am. I'm getting my pants altered if I grow a tail. I know that's right. You said I'm keeping going. So you would do the GLP-1 biggest loser. All right, all right. We got a candidate. All right, Harjarine. Heck no, says Taisha. Brenda's laughing. Brenda wagged that tail proudly. I know that's right. Okay, all right. Only if male to the B is the show advisor. Male's gonna be like, wait a minute, did everybody get their hormones for the day? All right, we're in there. Even the males, you gotta be doing it. All right, nope, the biggest loser, GLP-1 edition. You say no. MVP says no. Oh, you would, Brenda. Okay, Brenda's like, okay, Brenda's doing it. All right, Brenda. I want to be cheering you on. Weight loss shouldn't be on a competition show like this. Our bodies react differently, and the desire to win creates the bad and dangerous choices. That's a great perspective, JC. Definitely. No, thank you. I watch them compete from the bushes. You're gonna be hanging out with Darium in the bushes. Darium, if he's in here, would you go on the Biggest Loser GLP-1 edition? Okay, you guys are so funny. Jen or all the other things. Yes, 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 yes. Where is Jen at defending us out in those GLP-1 streets? No, because they're going to make them sick while on the GLP-1s. You don't trust them. Yes, I agree. I agree. Well, you know what, Jen? You kind of took us out of here with that. You said the first time I got yelled at, they would have to cut a commercial while I aired the I'd be out of there too, like I was when I saw it happening to somebody else. It wasn't even me, but I didn't go off, but I got out of there. Let me turn on my fan because I am hot. Jeez, Louise. So yeah, I think I'd be out of there too. Um, we could create our own. Yes, 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 yes. I love that. No, not fan of drama, not a fan of the drama unless fiction from Shondaland. Yes, yes, yes. I love that. No, I most likely will wag my tail, not the biggest loser. Yes, yes, yes. Very good. I love that. Darium and Cookie save me a seat in the bushes. We'll watch from here. No, she didn't say Darium and Cookie. Everybody knows Darius is watching in the bushes. Ever watched the Extreme Makeup? No, the Extreme. Yes, was that is that different than the Swan? I think I saw both of them. Yeah, I watched that too. What you think about that, Doris? What do you think about having all the plastic surgery, the weight loss, like you get all the tucks out? Now, would people go on a competition show to have loose skin removed? You wouldn't do the GLP, but would you do the loose skin? Taisha, if you could go on there and get free boobs, would you do it? I never watched TBL, by the way. Oh, The Biggest Loser. Oh, okay. Oh, Taisha, I don't know how you would like. I think you should watch that documentary though. It's sweet. It's heartwarming. It just lets you know. I think it makes you sympathize with people that deal with any kind of disorder of any kind, right? You just kind of have sympathy for empathy for what they're going through and what they have ahead. Yeah, it's very good. I thought it was well done. But I mean, it's because we saw what they wanted us to see, right? Because people are saying, "Oh, it told one side of the story." Well, they already told their story with all the, what we saw. They, painted the picture the way they wanted. So this is a different perspective, and so yeah, it just made me feel, give myself even more grace. And it just made me like think like, okay, I felt like I shouldn't have been watching that too. Like, geez, oh man, like I was into that show and it made me, and I even auditioned to go on there. Can you see me on there, Dee Dee? Geez, Louise, I would have been then quit. Like, I'm done. When Bob would have said, shut the F up, that would have been it for me. Like, geez, Louise. Let's see. Those producers admitted their dirt on that documentary. Yeah, but they said and I like how they really owned it. They said that they just that it was for ratings, right? They were doing it. The one producer did say that it was his idea when he started it. It was to help overweight people, but when they got and saw like what people watched and when the ratings went up and when they saw like people were so impressed by the weight loss, it just added pressure to do more. That's one of the things he said. I wonder if how content creators feel like that too, or anybody that's successful in something, because once you do something really well, the expectation, the bar gets raised. That's so true. And so for them, the bar was to like have these contestants doing more, working out more, that when people, didn't tune out when they were getting yelled at. So what did that do? Encourage them to do more of that, which is, it feeds into that positive reinforcement, even though it wasn't a positive thing that was happening. So, yeah, so that's just crazy. She said, shut the what? Absolutely not. Yeah, he told her to shut the F up, that lady. Yes. Yep, they owned it. They almost seemed proud. Yes, Mel, you got that feeling too. Yeah, that they almost seemed proud that this is what they had done, right? Until that Rachel lady, this is the lady that ended it all. Look at our girl, Nicole. Oh, Nicole. This is the lady that they were like, okay, we may have gone too far. And you got to go look at pictures of her, I try to get pictures that don't you have to worry about a lot of the copywriting, but it's some pictures of her. Like when you see the actual video of her walking out, you just see her legs and you just want to help her. You really do. So, yeah, yeah. I feel bad for her because she got a lot of flack, and not being called, too big, but now this lady was being, called too small, and they just made a kind of a mockery out of her situation. Not making, yes, the video was worse. Yeah, see, and then video puts a little bit of weight, so she didn't even have that grace. Not making excuses for it, but this was 15 to 20 years ago. TV was much different back then. Even kids shows were toxic. Yes. I mean, and just think about, I always think like even now, remember Tom and Jerry, how Jerry used to hit Tom over the head or Tom hit Jerry. Remember the Wiley Coyote, remember him? The shows were violent back then, like all the kids shows. So nowadays, you're right, it probably wouldn't fly. But I would love to see the GLP-1 edition. I would watch that because I just would be curious as to what they're saying and how that all is going to work out. So yeah, but yeah, a GLP-1 Biggest Loser. Jeez Louise. All right, so there you have it. The Biggest Loser. I think I showed all the pics I had up here. Um, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I just thought this was a good documentary. It really, really was. Like this versus the GLP-1. So I think the GLP-1 is kind of like the new weight loss standard trend, and we're going to see where it goes from here. I think Allie and I were kind of talking about that. She thinks what's going to be the next thing is weight loss um, procedures for people who've lost weight. Like that's going to be the next big thing is having a tummy tuck and having loose skin, and that kind of was like how the swan was. Taisha, did you ever answer me? Would you if they had and I'm just asking Taisha because she's on this, like I'm not trying to call her out. But and Mel has too, but and Jen, you're another one who talks about having smaller boobies. Would you go on the show and compete and stuff, and that was the prize? Or would you go on the show and let them follow your journey to get those for free? Would you do that, or would you be open to that? Just curious. In 10, 9, 8, 7. She said I would be too risky. It would be too risky. Okay, no, I'll buy my own. That is kidding. Oh my gosh. They were giving Bethany Frankel a hard time for wanting therapy for reality shows. I know people don't like to hear it, but at least she tried. Yeah, yes, and you know what? I actually like Bethany Frankel. I do. She has some swag about her, but yeah, she was trying to get therapy. And another thing she said is on those shows, the first thing they do is, what do you think on those shows? What do you think the first thing they expose the contestants to? And not necessarily on The Biggest Loser, but most of all those other reality shows, what's the first thing that they do? They expose them to this one thing to just kind of get them going. She says, Mel, if I want them, if Mel, you're good in that department. I guess it depends. You guys know what that is. What do these reality shows do and give people to kind of get them to act a fool, I would say. Yes, yes, Mel. They give them alcohol. They all say that. And I was so surprised because I was like, why would they be producing alcohol? And they say they have it just like now, they don't always show us the alcohol, but they have it readily available. And that's why they want people's defenses to be down. They want people to be emotional, and they want people to pop off and act a fool. Alcohol and jealousy about who is most famous. Yes, yes, yes. Extreme makeover. Yeah, they probably will be bringing that back. I think they would bring that back. I would have to get the muscle behind them. That's right, because you said that. Well, they would hook you up on the show. That's the thing. Um, okay. Brenda says weigh in. Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, there you have it. That is our time together. Thank you guys for participating. This was such a nice chat. I'm glad, we had a variety of people. Remember, I said you didn't even need to watch the show to be able to talk about it because we all have an opinion about it and we've seen it probably previously. And yeah, so that is that. You guys have a great night. I will see you on Friday. Watch out for Charles's video tomorrow. I'm going to be dropping that tomorrow. It really is good. I really want you to listen to some of the things he talks about beyond just the weight loss. So I'm looking forward to that. And we will end with Miss Beverly saying good night. Good night, everybody. Bye.